Hey everybody, this is Walt,
This is Max.
and you're listening to our podcast, The ABCs of Rock and Metal.
We call it Anti-Seminal. We are, as always, Useless Info Inc. And today we have Dave back with us.
Yay.
Awesome, Dave. Cool.
Glad to be back.
All right,
That's his new nickname now, Awesome Dave.
works for me. All right, today we are doing Faith No More. Which album, Walt?
Angel Dust.
Angel Dust.
Took me a second, I almost forgot.
Yeah, there you go. Why don't you set us up a little bit, Walt? Give us some background on this album.
Angel Dust is the band's fourth album, released June 1992, if you can believe that, on Slash Warner Brothers. The follow-up to The Real Thing, which was a big commercial success.
That's
for
their
Faith
biggest
No
album,
More.
right?
Yeah.
That is
That's their
the
seminal.
most seminal album. Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
had that album.
Exactly.
People that weren't fans, I should say, of rock and metal
Yep.
wound up buying The Real Thing on the strength of Epic, that
Yeah,
big
that
hit
song
single.
was everywhere. Yeah.
It was all over the place. And I have to admit that I wasn't really a fan at that point.
Okay.
I wasn't. I liked them. I did like their cover of War Pigs on that album.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. And I think it's Falling to Pieces is another one that's on The Real Thing. My brother was a big fan, so I learned about Faith No More through him. But when this album came out, I said, that's not the same group, is it? When I heard certain songs, I said, oh, wow, they took a real left turn on this. And I became a fan. Other people that were fans of
So
before...
this one made you a fan? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Okay.
It did. A lot of other people that were fans beforehand with The Real Thing and Introduce Yourself and We Care a Lot kind of didn't like Angel Dust. Because, like I said, it's a different type of Faith No More.
Yeah.
They're really expressing some real heavy artistic creativity here and artistic chances.
Yeah.
So, rumor had it at the time was the record company didn't want this album. They wanted another Real Thing. They wanted another big hit #1 album.
Of course, they want to make money.
Of course.
That's their thing, yeah.
But I've also read that the band decided to scrap all pre-written material for the follow-up to Real Thing and just started from scratch.
Huh, okay.
Save a few songs. I kind of believe that a little bit more. They kind of had the power at that point to say, we want to do something different. And the record company probably said, okay, fine, because you've sold millions and millions of units, quote unquote. Joking there somewhere. But so they were allowed to take this chance with this material. The first single, Midlife Crisis, is such a departure from what was released previously with The Real Thing.
Okay, yeah.
So it's the first album where Mike Patton had a little more control, writing-wise.
Right.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah. The Real Thing was all written before Patton joined the band.
Right.
Okay,
And he just
yeah.
went into the vocals for that.
Yeah. And he wrote some lyrics, but that was it.
Right. And on Angel Dust, he wrote some of the music and some of the lyrics as well. So he was much more involved.
And I think when you know the album, you can pick out which ones.
Yeah.
And it's also the last record with Jim Martin.
Right. He wasn't happy with this one, right?
No, he was very upset with the direction of the music, and even more so the album cover.
Well, I've heard varying things. I've heard that he wasn't happy with the music, and then in an interview that he did, he actually said it was more about the recording process.
Oh, okay.
That was so stressful. Apparently, I mean, this is retrospective. It was 2012, the interview.
Right.
That was more his issue, according to, looking back.
See, there's a lot of speculation over this album.
Yeah. Okay.
I've tried to hunt down the facts from older articles with the band.
Good luck with that.
I know, it's tough to find.
Yeah.
Because I ain't trusting no Wikipedias. Sorry, I'm just not. This is edited by everybody and anyone, so you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And maybe a band member might go on there and change it just to mess with fans. You never
Yeah.
know. If ever there was a band that would probably mess with their fans, it might be Faith No More.
I would so do that.
I know, right?
All right, Dave, give me some thoughts.
On the album,
Preliminary thoughts, yeah.
it's a beautiful,
Set us
fucked up piece of art.
What's the fucked up part?
I agree.
It's out of left field.
Okay.
It's just a weird new kind of sound.
In terms of, in contrast to The Real Thing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, The Real Thing is a more straightforward album, more straightforward
Almost
kind
has
of sound
pop
to it.
sensibilities to it as well,
Yeah.
almost. I wouldn't say all the way, but...
They had a really interesting progression. Like their first album, it was a little bit more like kind of in the alternative, new wavy world. Kind of like PIL.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's how I got a hold of them, because I was into that kind of music at that time.
So you're talking about We Care a Lot?
We Care a Lot, yeah,
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
the first album.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first album. Yeah, and then they kind of went more metal, bringing in more like rap and stuff, and
That
took
was
a different
with
direction.
Chuck Mosley, was
Exactly.
the original singer on the
Yeah.
first two label releases.
Yeah. You got more thoughts, Dave?
No, just good stuff.
Okay, start this out, right?
Let's jump into it.
Yeah, before we jump into the album, there were two things I want to point out. There are two recurring things, not really themes, but things that come up on the album.
Okay.
Spoken lyrics and lyrics about bleeding.
There's a lot of funky lyrics on this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So as they come, I'll let you know. And maybe we can play a drinking game out of it.
That sounds like we're gonna get fucked up. Yeah. All right, so here we are, track 1.
Yep.
Land of Sunshine. All right, Max, what do you think about this?
I've got cheese in my mouth. I just took a bite of cheese. Come on, dude. So we put out a full spread of like meats and cheese and bread for Dave as a guest.
Yeah, right.
And we treat our guests really well. There's beer as well.
It's all fancy pinky out.
Yeah, so, you know, if you want to guest with us, this is what you're going to get.
You'll get a free meal.
Yeah.
Maybe
Put
a
that
free
out there.
beer or two. No, you got to bring your own beer.
So I understand that the lyrics were inspired by a sleep deprivation experiment.
See, I thought that was the next track.
I heard that both of them
both
were.
of them?
I heard
Both of
both of
them,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
heard, Dave?
Yeah.
But also, this is like self-help infomercial type stuff at one point?
Scientology.
Scientology.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
that's right. Yeah. That's the spoken word part, right?
This is the first song of a few that have spoken lyrics.
Okay.
Right.
And there's lines from actual fortune cookies as well. So he
Right,
threw everything
right,
in here, right?
So
Yeah.
sing and rejoice.
Yeah.
Sing and rejoice.
This is a single too, right?
I don't think it was.
Really?
No.
I got it marked down as a single.
I thought it was Midlife Crisis, Smaller and Smaller,
Okay.
or Everything's
Everything's
Ruined.
Ruined.
Everything's Ruined.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
not
and
this
Small
one.
Victory.
Okay.
It was those
yeah,
three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
not
don't
then.
remember this being a single.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. When he delivers the line, here's how to order,
Right.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Go back to Dianetics, I guess. Remember those old
Right.
commercials,
Yeah.
Dianetics?
Yeah, I think it's a good intro to the album because I really think it announces Mike Patton
Yeah.
as one of the main contributors to the album.
Right.
But here's the funny thing. He wrote the lyrics to it, but not the music. That was Gould and Bottom that wrote the music. So I think they were influenced by Mike Patton, actually, and the Mr. Bungle, actually, from the year before.
Right, because he left
was-
for a while
Yep.
to go back to his original band, Mr. Bungle, and they put out their debut right before this, I believe, right?
The year before.
The year before.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was 91.
So I hear influence of
Yeah.
Mr. Bungle in this song in particular.
Well, that's Patton. I mean,
Yeah.
when you listen to anything by Patton, even now he's with Dead Cross with Dave Lombardo from Slayer. He's still Patton on it. He still has his wacky stuff going on. And I recommend that album too, Dead Cross. It's really good.
Okay, next up we have Caffeine.
Which, once again, you guys were talking about the sleep deprivation experiments.
Yeah,
Yep.
it sounds like a sequel to the previous song, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's really heavy. Listen to that.
I think it sounds a bit more like from The Real Thing than from the other songs in Angel Dust.
I think it's just slightly heavier.
Yeah.
Just for me. And I think it's also Patton's vocal delivery. He wasn't really kind of doing anything like that. He was more rapping on some of the stuff and
Yeah.
singing higher notes on Real Thing. Now he's going into
Right.
more of the Patton that we know from the previous album. Yeah, I think it's a great, solid track. Mike Borden, great drummer. Great drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
you really
played
get that
with,
here.
I think, Ozzy and Jerry Cantrell. He's played with a lot of different people over time.
Dave, you got more?
This is the second song with spoken lyrics.
Okay.
Just to
all
keep
right,
track.
all right. You're gonna keep a score on that one?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
What do you think of the keyboards?
That's cool.
It's pretty cool,
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Also, like I said, sometimes it's difficult to incorporate keyboards successfully into a really heavy song, for me.
Next up we have Midlife Crisis.
The big single.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I just kind of love is that the drums on this have a sample from the song Cecilia. Yeah, Simon and
Really?
Garfunkel.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to tell. What
Right.
I ended up doing was playing that song and this one like nearly simultaneously,
Yeah,
and then I could
to pick
catch
it out, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like you're not supposed to hear it. It's just
Right.
they wanted that little texture as part of the percussion.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
subliminal thing
Like
almost.
you would never notice it until you know that it's there.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know.
right?
I didn't know about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
know.
It's that part that just like, you know.
Huh?
Is it
Yeah.
the intro part or it's
Yeah.
or
I think it's the
When-
entire. You can really tell it on the intro before there's anything else going on with the drums.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's through the entire song. Yeah.
Goes
I-
continuously. Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, and there's also a Beastie Boys sample someplace. I mean,
And I like the intro because it establishes this cool groove, but
Yeah.
does not tell you where the rest of the song is going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And maybe that's because of Cecilia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the video for this was very odd for them at the time. It was almost industrial looking. And the first time I heard this song, I said, oh, wow, they're really starting to delve into that area of music almost. Like, it has a touch of industrial to me, like a little taste of it. I mean, at the time, Ministry was pretty big all of a sudden.
Yeah.
9 Inch Nails. So I could see why they might, start to move that way. Especially with the stuff that Patton likes to do with his other bands like Tomahawk and I forget who else now. On his label, Epicat, he's got a bunch of other different bands, that he's worked with. And like I said, even now, Dead Cross. So he's got his own thing going. It's Patton.
Right.
Whenever you start hearing something. Not just his voice, but even the music, you can kind of go, oh, I think that might be his.
Yeah, so that song actually has bleeding lyric number 1,
nice.
Your Menstruating Heart.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ain't bleeding
there you go.
enough for 2.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a great lyric.
Yeah.
It's a great
Makes you
lyric.
think.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have RV.
I like this song a lot. I mean, it's so...
What is going on here?
It's a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Tom-
It's so Frank Zappa to me.
it's like a twisted waltz.
I hear Tom
Something.
Waits.
You hear Tom Waits?
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, I mean, with the vocal delivery,
Right,
I
with
can
the
see
vocals,
that.
yeah.
But the song structure, the lyrical content makes me think Zappa for whatever reason.
I liken Patton to Zappa.
Yeah.
As a mad genius.
Oh, yeah. And the lyrics to this are great.
Yeah.
It's all about this, like, white trash trailer park guy giving a confessional, about how fucked up his life is and how he really doesn't care about how fucked up his life is. He couldn't give 2 shits.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty out there.
Yeah.
Is there a slide guitar in there too?
My feet itch. Yeah, I sweat a lot. But the chorus is great. This sing-songy. To myself.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay, there you go. Wait.
Staring at me. Only
I'm only bleeding.
breathing. The line is,
Breathing.
I'm only breathing.
Is
Yeah.
there?
You want to check the
Is
lyrics?
that canonical?
Uh-oh.
We verify that?
This completely throws me off here.
The lyrics are here. If you could read them.
No, I'll
Anna
believe
is tiny.
I'll believe the insert. Sorry about that,
Yeah,
guys.
they're in there. They're in there.
A lot of spoken lyrics, though, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, next up we have Smaller and Smaller.
Not something a dude wants to hear.
This is a bit somber compared to the previous song.
Yeah, it's got that
Right?
overtone
Yeah.
when the vocals come in.
It's like field workers getting through a drought and hoping for rain. Like,
Yeah.
it
Oh,
just
okay.
suddenly got kind
Cool.
of dark.
Yeah.
you know?
Creepy.
Yeah.
Your livelihood is getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they throw in a lot on this album.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think, Dave?
It's cool. Yeah, like I said, it's a creepy song. A lot of good lyrics in this one. Under the topsoil, under the fingernail.
Under the fingernails.
That's weird
yeah.
shit. And bleeding lyric.
Yeah.
Open heart, open mind, open mouth, open vein.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
bleeding lyric 3
That's,
or 4.
I no, I was wrong about. I'm only
So that's 3.
bleeding. That's number 2 then.
2.
That's number 2.
Okay. You said you wanted to keep track of that, man. I don't know.
I'm trying.
I'm keeping track of the fucking sex references. That's,
And in the interlude, there seems to be kind of like a Native American chanting, this kind of cult thing.
right.
Cult
It sounds
meaning,
like
of course, the cult,
Yeah.
as we covered earlier. But yeah,
can't really tell if it's an authentic
no.
Native American or indigenous people's chant. Can't make it out. Once again, a wild left turn, even in the song, to go into that.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And track number 6 is Everything's Ruined. This is another single, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they had a video for it as well.
What was the video like?
It was basically the band and a couple of kids. I assume maybe they were their nieces or something, family
Yeah.
members, where they're dancing in front of this blue screen like a karaoke place.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It looks like they're doing karaoke to their own song.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's goofy. I like playing that video. Also because I like the song, too. Great song. I mean, when I saw the title on the album when I first bought it, I was like, that's got to be a killer track. And then it comes on, and it's kind of more subdued than Caffeine or tracks on the record later on.
Yeah, like it starts out with a piano melody, but then it goes in this like pulsing funk groove,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they've always amalgamated so many different styles in their music from inception, from when they first started out.
Yeah.
I like Gould's bass on this.
Yeah. It's bumping.
Baseline.
Yeah, the bass
Yeah.
is
Yeah, it's
really,
bumping.
it really comes out in this one. Yeah. And it's still got the keyboard thing going on, but then you got like the guitar
Right.
stabbing in there. Yeah.
And then he jumps from that kind of whiny type vocal to this aggressive
Yeah.
pre-chorus vocal.
It kind of
And-
goes somber to angry.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
That, in that jump.
Well, there's a lot of that on
Yeah.
this record. There's
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Yeah, tonally it's really kind of all over the place.
Well, I kind of took that song to mean a little bit like striving for the big mighty dollar by any means necessary, and
Yeah.
the damage it could
Right.
cause, you know, to one's person or one's finances or one's livelihood. You know, kind of fucking
Yeah.
people over and almost Ponzi scheme-ish. I got a little
Uh-huh.
bit from it, especially towards the end of the lyrics.
And isn't it kind of like a child who just sort of feels disappointed? Or the couple?
It seems like a lot of people are disappointed around this one person.
Okay,
And I can't
yeah.
decipher if it's a child
Okay.
or somebody that took their money, invested it, and now
Okay.
lost all their money. I can't decipher exactly what, because he does write cryptically at points, you know,
Yeah.
which I like. I prefer
Yeah.
that in a lyricist than just straight ahead saying, you know, oh, baby, baby, I love you.
Yeah.
You know, I prefer
That
this
was
type
nicely
of...
done, actually.
Thank you. I did audition for the
I
Backstreet
moved.
Boys at one point.
Next up, we have Malpractice.
And we're back into the sludge.
This is one of the more aggressive songs on the album, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Listen to that.
yeah.
Then it almost gets noise rockish here.
Well, there's a point when there's a sample from a Shostakovich string quartet.
Huh.
Damn.
Yes, exactly.
Why are you
yes.
trying to look smarter than us?
Well, I read that somewhere, then I listened to it, and I think I picked out the point where you can hear it.
Okay.
Because Shostakovich's
Say that
music
again.
is like,
What's
it's,
those taco bitches?
it has a really distinctive kind of melodic thing going on. And it doesn't happen for a while, but it adds a really weird texture to the song.
Oh, do you mean during the break or the bridge?
It's like
Around
it's the
there?
break, yeah. Well, you guys keep talking. We'll
Yeah.
get there. Dave, what do you think about this one?
Heavy metal on acid.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool. It has patent all over it.
It almost has 1 foot in death metal with the
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
you know. And then this.
Yep.
Very,
Shrieking.
very, yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's where it kind of gets noise rockish too. And now imagine if you're a big fan of the stuff they did before and you buy this record and you hear this track for the first time and you're not into this type of stuff at all.
Yeah.
You're going to want to take this back to the record store.
This should not be a single.
You know, no.
That's what you're saying.
And they probably might have wanted it
Yeah,
to be a
right.
single. The band, listen to that.
Yeah.
This motherfucker can sing in 6 octaves. Did you know this?
I don't
I knew
know
it had a
anything
good
about
range.
octaves.
I didn't know it was
That's
6 octaves.
incredible, yeah.
6 octaves. And you can kind of hear it on this song.
Right.
Listen, the screeching. When I read that, I
Yeah.
said, that can't be right. And then I go back and I listen to it, and I'm like, whoa.
That's
holy
more than
shit.
David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, but that's,
He's one of the
Yeah.
only
Some serious
singers
ranges, yeah.
in modern rock. I can't say about pop or anything else, or R&B or what have you, but
Mm-hmm.
in rock, he's pretty much the only guy besides maybe somebody else, and I can't remember who now. But
Uh-huh.
but if you guys know, please let us know.
Yeah.
Correct us.
Yeah, let us know.
Comment.
Uh-huh.
So it's coming up now.
It's coming up.
coming up
yeah,
now.
yeah, the bridge, right? Yeah. And
Where it almost sounds like a clock.
yeah, yeah. There's samples all over this album. It's pretty heavy. Let's
Yeah.
see. Okay. Okay, this is the kind of clock-like thing, right? Yeah, this is kind of weird. Yeah. A lot of different textures going on.
Yeah.
It's apologizing for a second, and then takes the apology back. And says, you know what, forget it. Fuck you.
Walks back to walk back.
Yeah, right.
There.
Oh, yeah, all right, yeah.
It's like-
Like Arabian
Do,
kind
do,
of sound.
Yeah.
It's very Shostakovich.
Uh-huh.
I used to be really into a string quartets, but it's got to be that part. That's got to be it. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I love the song. You know, I like the heavier shit, so it's pretty cool.
It's
pretty
a great
cool.
tune. Next up, Kindergarten. This is melodic.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even the opening sounds reflective. You know,
Yeah.
it's got a
Yeah.
it's setting the tone for the lyrics and for the rest of the song. You know, this guy looking back on his history as a kid.
He was held back in kindergarten.
Yeah, I know, right?
And that's like, yeah. Once
That'll
that
fuck you up.
happens,
Yeah.
you're done.
Well, I
Your
also,
life is over.
I also kind of took it like, you know, stunted growth kind of thing. You
Yeah.
know? If you're revisiting the playgrounds and stuff and kind of looking back like that, like, why can't I be a kid again? You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you can't really decipher exactly what the lyrics are, what the songs mean. I mean, this is just, you know, our take. My
Just
take
kind
on
of
it, our
interpret it.
take-
Yeah,
you know.
That's sort of, yeah.
But another unexpected turn with the song. You know?
Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
You know, I like the riff and I like the kind of rapping thing that he does. I find it a little repetitive.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Swings on the playground don't even fit me anymore.
A lot of these songs, they have a lot of different textures going on.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of go from one type of mood to another, right? And you're saying this one kind of doesn't do that?
Yeah.
So it maybe stands out.
Right, that's true.
As a little more repetitive
Good point.
compared to the other ones. Yeah.
Well, it's got the basic structure. I think that's
yeah,
it too. It
yeah.
doesn't
Right.
do what we heard previously on, say, Malpractice or
Right, yeah.
This kind of follows the, you know, 4/4 almost.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got a lot of spoken lyrics, fast spoken lyrics at the end of that one.
Right, that's right.
So that's number 4.
Right to the 100 times.
Next up, Be Aggressive. Listen to that pseudo goth organ there.
Yeah.
Is this Mr. Crowley?
Right. Mr. Crowley. But like I said, their influences are everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on this record.
Yeah.
One side note, I remember
Yeah.
the first time I heard Manson's mob scene
Yeah.
with the cheerleader chant, the cheerleader cheer,
Right.
be obscene.
That was a few years later.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought of them first because that was the
All
first time I heard it in a heavy rock song with
Yeah.
the be aggressive, be aggressive.
Right.
Manson did it later with be obscene.
Right. Right. Right.
So, of course, at first I'm like, he stole it! But you can't say he stole it. I mean, it's a cheerleader thing, you know?
Right.
Now, this is about fellatio from the perspective of the giver.
Oh!
Yeah.
Nice!
Now, you know who wrote this one?
It can't be Pat, right?
It was the keyboardist, Roddy Bottum,
Okay, right about him.
who later came out.
Oh, he came out?
all right.
He later came out, yeah.
I did not know that.
So this song is placed in a really interesting position here.
And the, oh, well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Harumph.
Because this is 1992, okay?
Yeah.
So a gay man writes this track about being on the giving end of fellatio, and Mike Patton sings it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Right,
like
right.
he's perfectly cool with it.
Yeah.
And think about 1992 for a moment. Like the only band I can think about who were writing about man-on-man sex was Pansy Division,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're an openly gay punk rock band. I mean, for
Right.
for a, like just a hetero guy singing this song,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty brave.
Otherwise,
honestly.
it was always kind of hidden in the lyrics.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
like Rob Halford,
With
who
Halford,
we'll talk
yeah,
about later with
yeah.
Judas Priest, yeah,
Right.
yeah. But this cannot be about anything else.
Yeah.
You look at the lyrics,
Right.
Yeah,
No, it's
Damn, I
pretty
thought it was
blatant.
being at a football
Yeah.
game.
yeah, that's wild, but yeah, and the fact that there's a cheerleader chorus in the back,
Yeah.
it's really kind of brilliant,
Yeah.
and just freaking bold, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I admire Mike Patton for being like, yeah, sure, I'll sing that.
Well, I can
Whatever.
see him being like, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And it's a fun song.
Yeah.
it's totally fun.
It's a totally sung.
It's a
Totally sung song.
It's a sung song. I like how the song is the fun is sung in the song. Yes.
Oh, Felicio.
Next up is A Small Victory.
One of the other singles, like
Wow.
we said earlier. I
Listen
know,
to
so different,
that
right?
melody.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's probably the most radio-friendly song, I think, on the album.
I think it got the most radio play
Yeah.
and heavy rotation on MTV at
Right.
the time.
Yeah.
Another video, too. Another big video, like I was saying. It was on MTV all the fucking time. More so than Midlife and Everything's Ruined.
They really made a point of releasing the more accessible songs, which is a bit misleading, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying
So, yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
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 So the average Faith No More fan hears this
Right.
and they go, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
cool." And then you get into the other songs about
Like
giving
what?
head and
Yeah.
fucking malpractice, and so
Scientology.
right in Scientology. This video suffered from '90s itis, is what I like to call it now.
Yeah.
With the over budget, overblown lighting, with all kinds of weird intercut scenes with, you know, circus freaks and midgets and what have you, dwarves and half-naked women. And,
Dwarves,
you
okay.
know, yeah, all kinds of Lord of the Rings shit. You know, and like I said, the spiraling, quick cuts, the bad lighting, the smoke. You know, every video had it going on from freaking Alice in Chains to Pearl Jam to Faith No More. They all suffered from the bad videos in the 90s.
yeah.
As much as I like his work, Tarsem, who directed REM's video, Losing My Religion, I felt like that was the start of it with the art music video.
Yeah.
So then every record company with every major band wanted that art music video that was going to
Yeah,
win an
yeah,
MTV
yeah.
award. That's just my opinion, but the 90s were full of those bad, overblown
Yeah.
videos.
Very true.
And here we have Crack Hitler.
That says it all.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
We don't even need to talk about it. It says it all right there. Well, we, of course, took it as drug abuse and dreaming, you know, almost
Yeah.
like Naked Lunch-ish, you know.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
stupid
yeah.
high and you imagine yourself as this dictator, this, you know.
Yeah.
So, but once again, I can't really peg it, and I wouldn't want to. It's just my assumption to go along for the ride, so to speak.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Bought the
Yeah.
ticket, take the ride.
Yeah. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, it's fun, and I like when it becomes all menacing with Patton wailing.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I became a crack Hitler. There are points where he's doing the spoken word through a megaphone.
Oh, you can hear that.
Yeah.
Now that you say that.
Oh, he
Wow.
would always
Yeah.
do that on stage too.
Like some petty dictator, right?
Yeah. There's a joke in there too, but
Where?
petty dictator. The way you said it that way, man. See,
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
before we, you know, on stage it would be performed with a megaphone, but in recording studios then and before that, it was called the telephone EQ, where you sound like you were singing through a telephone. Pink Floyd used it a lot in the 70s.
course, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so. See, that gets melodic right there. And the keyboards are very melodic through the whole thing,
Yeah.
you know. And the bass is funky as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah,
know,
no,
the
it's
guitar
good.
too,
Yeah,
and-
yeah. A lot of great bass work on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the fifth and final song with spoken lyrics.
Okay.
And
So
this is
5 out of 13.
yeah.
Right?
And it is the third and final song with bleeding lyrics. I'm taking a little liberty with this. Got a
Okay.
gash in my head. Because
Yeah,
you know,
that'll
that means
bleed.
either you're bleeding or you
Yeah.
were bleeding at
It'll
some
bleed.
point.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
All
no
right.
metaphor to that.
No.
But wait, real quick.
Yeah, yeah. Go on.
When it goes, hey,
That's what
Like
I'm
the
referring to.
dictator
It's
chant.
all menacing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Like a fascist kind of saluting type thing going on.
yeah. Once again, Manson kind of took a little bit from, I mean, also from Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd did it on the Wall.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next up. Do I have to say it?
Jizz Lobber.
Jizz Lobber,
I'll
okay.
say it.
Like in Silence of the Lambs?
Multiple
Yeah,
names.
yeah.
Multiple names.
What do you think, Dave?
Starts off with crickets.
Yeah.
This song emphasizes how schizo the album is.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, just with
Okay.
the lyrics, you got them going back and forth between smiles and bruises.
Yeah.
Right? And it's got this weird heavy sound, but it ends with
It's
like church organs.
Brooding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Back
does.
and forth
Yeah,
all
yeah.
over the place.
Fake
So
noise,
this
yeah.
is the epitome of a schizo album.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I read it was about Patton's fear of imprisonment.
Really?
Okay.
Patton.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Mike Patton.
Yeah,
Mike
yeah,
Patton.
yeah.
Why
yeah,
would he
yeah,
fear
yeah.
imprisonment?
Yeah, no, George S. Patton.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the general thought he's resurrected. But you know, this album, you'd never know.
Yeah.
It could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the vocals on this. They're so
Yeah.
desperate, but at the same time aggressive.
Uh-huh.
Desperately aggressive. I always kind of took it like the porn star kind of looking back on how fucked up her life was in the whole thing, and
Okay.
you know, and how fucked up it is now, and how difficult it might be to navigate the rest.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you call it jizz lobber. You know, the first thing you're thinking is, you know, I don't know, you're thinking all kinds of bad dick sucking stories. So, I'm sorry. They said it, not me.
This from the guy who didn't know what Be Aggressive was actually about.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I know, right? You got to spell that out for me. That you got
Where
to
he
spell
tells
out
you
for me.
in the song what he's actually doing and why. Oh, man. Dave, over to you.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing from this guy anymore in the song. Tell me.
Yeah. No, it's a cool song.
Yeah? Okay.
It's aggressive
Sums
as
up
all
the
fuck.
album.
What about the lyrics? What are you getting out of it?
The shrieking lyrics?
Yeah, yeah. From what you can hear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just schizo.
And the psycho piano. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
yeah. I love the psycho
Dun, dun,
piano.
dun, dun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Probably for me the heaviest song on the album. I think it's
okay.
the
That and
heaviest.
malpractice.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that
that's
one
the other
kind
I
of
put up
Yeah.
there.
that kind of trumps malpractice for me a little bit. Just like you said, just the way it's crafted.
Yeah.
The way it sounds, it's just, you know. You can't even say that it beats you over the head.
No,
No pun intended. But it's just,
something beats you on the head.
yeah, right, something beats you on the head.
It's okay.
I know, right? I'm waiting for him to take one.
Well, no. You.
Jizzlobbing.
Okay, next up we have Midnight Cowboy. And this is, of course, not the song. Everybody's talking at me. This is the original music to the soundtrack by John Barry of James Bond music fame.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty straight up cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost identical. Almost.
Yeah, it's nearly
It's-
note for
right.
note.
Yeah.
Okay, which member of the band was really into easy listening?
Oh, that I don't know.
'Cause
I mean, they all
that's
have
what
eclectic taste.
Yeah,
from
that's what I
I've read.
heard, that someone was really into it and just wanted to do the song. And again, another song that we'll talk about a
I
little
might
bit later.
be Patton, just
yeah?
because. Yeah.
Because listen to it. This is the music from the movie.
I know.
Done in the style that John Barry composed it for the movie.
I thought when I first got the record and I brought it home
Mm-hmm.
and was listening to it, I thought it was just going to be a song with a similar title.
Yeah.
And when it came on, I said, "Oh shit, really? Like really the movie soundtrack, the song from the movie? I couldn't believe it." And to back up what Dave was saying, just to show you how wackadoo and all over the place the album is, to end with this cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It proves a point,
Yeah.
or it underscores the whole thing.
Yeah.
The way I think about this album, some people thought of this album as a fuck you to the fans. I
I have read that, yeah.
don't see it that way. I see it as, okay, well, name a food that you don't like.
A food that
Yeah.
I don't like.
Yeah, yeah.
I like most foods.
Oh my god, it's gonna take a while.
It's going to take... You always put me on a spot.
name,
with
name,
questions.
name a beverage you don't like.
A beverage, Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock. Okay, so let's say I'm coming over to your place. I'm
Uh-huh.
drinking beer, right?
Yeah.
I pick up a case of Rolling Rock because I know you hate it,
Okay.
and I bring it over. That's me saying fuck you, right?
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
But let's say same scenario.
And I would say fuck you by throwing it out the window.
yeah, exactly.
And wasting your money.
I pick up the Rolling Rock, but only because I really like it.
Of course, then
I'm not
that's
really
different.
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That
different.
to me is a distinction. You get the same product, but there's a different intention.
Right.
What I feel the intention here is, okay, we made one big Mondo selling album. We pleased the fans, the studio, record company, everybody. Now we're going to make the album that we want.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We're just gonna, and we're not gonna care about any convention or any expectations, and we're not gonna care about our own self-image.
Right.
That's the thing to me that's really brave.
I agree.
Because when you think of like AC/DC, right? Did AC/DC ever make an album that was not AC/DC?
No.
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 There might be
I-
albums that were a little more produced.
Yeah. Now
But-
now I'm sure those guys have eclectic taste in music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'd assume so.
musicians generally do.
Right.
Musicians don't just like the kind of music they play; they're pretty much all over the place.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
I'm sure there are guys in there who loved R&B or reggae or whatever, but they weren't going to do that as AC/DC.
Right. Right.
On this album, Faith No More did.
They took what we always talk about. They
Yeah.
took all of their influences, didn't wear them on the sleeve, just
Yeah.
put them all together like a big bunch of clay.
Here, this is on the sleeve.
Yeah, okay,
This
yeah.
is I
But
love
it's-
easy listening.
But it's unexpected
Yeah.
that this
yeah,
band would
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
So it's an influence. They said, well, we could do our own thing like
Yeah.
this, but okay,
But no, let's
just do it like this.
let's just do Midnight Cowboy because I
Right.
love that tune. So we're just going to play it like it is. We're not going to try to do a metal cover of it. We're
Right,
just
right.
going to play it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I just think that they still, like, especially on this record, took
Yeah.
all of that, put it all together as a ball of clay, and just made their own thing with it. Their own statue with it.
But not on this song.
Not on this song,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
But still, it's okay. It's that one branch sticking out, or what have you. That one little
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
thing that's sticking out, where they said, you know what,
Yeah.
this is still us.
Yeah, exactly. This
We
is
want
still
it on
Faith
the record.
No More. Yeah.
We want it on the record. So surprising, very
I think
surprising.
it's pretty awesome.
The other cover that they did on the record previous was, like we talked about, was War Pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made it their own.
That's in the pocket.
Right.
They made it their own.
Now, if they had done War Pigs in the style of Easy Listening,
That'd be
That would have
something.
been
Yeah,
bold.
yeah.
That would have
Right.
been really. That would have been.
Well, that's
a different
something
thing,
that
right?
we'll probably talk about in a minute. That we are
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
talk about in a
Okay,
minute.
okay. Dave, you got any more thoughts on this one or
No.
album in general?
Album in general?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay.
I
So
love
Dave,
it.
what,
I love
mean,
it.
sorry, Walt.
The
I've
other-
got two
the
guys
other
next to
Dave.
me. The other Dave too.
Awesome, Dave.
Awesome Dave and not so awesome.
Oh, damn, and scumbag
I know.
Max.
Yeah, I'll own that. Jizz lover. Okay. All right. Well, you want to go some more?
Like I said, I really wanted to talk about this album because I remember so many people that bought it around the time and were confused by the record.
I can see that happening, yeah.
Being fans of their previous work. Like I said, for me, now I wanted to see what they were going to do next.
Yeah.
After this album. You know, the real thing grew on me a little bit over time. There are still certain songs that I won't listen to on it. I might skip a couple here and there.
Okay.
But after this, I started being a big fan after this album.
Okay.
I think that for me, I think it's anti-seminal because a lot of people don't revisit this. They talk about Real Thing or they
Yeah.
talk about albums after this.
Yeah, okay.
Like King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime, and Album of the Year. A lot of people talk about that more often than they talk about Angel Dust.
Okay.
I consider it anti-seminal.
Yeah.
Just because also, like I just said, when it came out, it divided people. Mm-hmm. You know, nobody was like, I love it. A lot of
Yeah.
people were like, it's okay, or I don't like it. For me, I was straight down the middle,
Okay.
you know, with everybody else that I talked to. Yourself, Max?
It's grown as an album.
Right?
I mean, yeah, there's so much going on here.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time you listen to it, you hear something surprising that you
Yeah.
didn't quite notice before. Like, oh, yeah, that's on there. Oh, yeah, that crazy Oregon thing happened out of nowhere. So it keeps you guessing, but they keep it all controlled.
Yeah.
Again, I admire the bravery of this album, just the straight
almost
boldness of
chutzpah
it. Yeah,
put this out.
absolutely. Which
On a
is
major label.
Yeah,
How they pulled it
yeah,
off.
yeah,
Yeah.
And people didn't take a lot of chances in the '90s when it came to music.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when you just look back at it, and
No, I know.
Faith No More did, and I respect the hell out of them
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
That's why I do love bands from the 90s that did that. And they're
Exactly.
like you said, they're one of the few.
Yeah.
Record companies and every casual listener wanted the next Pearl Jam or the next Nirvana.
Yeah, Jizz Lover.
So yeah, it's funny. I recently played the album for Karen.
Yeah.
She's not a fan.
Okay.
And she had interesting
But she
things
likes
to say
Faith No
about
More.
it. She likes some of their
general.
stuff.
Okay.
But the same things that we're talking about with certain tracks, she'll go, okay, that's cool. I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
The song will take a left turn. And then she's like, I'm out. I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example of the average listener that doesn't know this album.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think they kind of backpedaled a little bit on later releases, like Album of the Year and the last one, Sol Invictus. They kind of went for, let's go for a little bit more straight ahead than what we did with Angel Dust. And at points on King for a Day. So they kind of did a little bit of a backpedal.
Yeah. Let's talk about the album cover. You've got an image of a, what is that? Stork, right? It's a stork?
Egret.
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 I don't know my
There you
birds. What do you think, Dave?
I like it. It's nice
Yeah?
and basic, minimalistic, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird too, right? And the bird looks a little creepy.
It's nicely photographed.
It is.
And it's a beautiful image.
Very serene. It's got this calming blue background thing going on.
Doesn't tell you anything about what's
No.
on the album.
No.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
true.
Yeah.
It's misleading.
So you think it's deliberately misleading?
I think so.
It's okay.
You get both sides of what the album's trying to do. You have the melodic parts, which this might represent, and then you got the back.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, with the meat
That's different.
locker.
Yeah.
The hanging chickens and the cow and the whole thing.
That would have gotten some pushback had that been on the cover, on
Yeah.
the front.
Yeah.
What the record company wanted was a mimic of Zeppelin 2, where it's
okay.
the band members' faces superimposed over these Russian soldiers. It's in the insert. They did put it in the insert, but they said, nope, we're going to do our own album cover. It's our
Right.
album.
Yeah.
Should.
And they came up with this. And of course, record company didn't see the back until it was already out. So they were afraid of, getting hate mail from vegans and vegetarians and what have you. But it implies like beauty and then death,
Yeah.
So I kind of did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay.
And nothing sold an album in the 80s or the 90s like the parental guidance
Oh,
sticker.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the
a must.
parental advisory.
Yep.
Thank you, Tipper Gore.
Yeah. She sold more albums for bands than she realizes by coming up with that.
Okay, we've got a segment we call Gun to the Head. Walt has food in his mouth.
still chewing.
So he can't do the thing. All right.
1 second.
Yeah. Take your time. Yep. Anytime you're ready.
Gun to the head!
Okay. So, Dave, I'm going to begin with you. Your top song on the album, gun to your head.
Midlife Crisis.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah.
awesome. Jim Martin is brilliant on that.
Yeah.
And after I'm done listening to the album, I go back and listen to that song again.
Wow.
I dig
That
that
about
song.
says it.
And I guess I can appreciate it more now than when it first came out, sadly.
You, Walt?
I'm always stuck between two. You know, it's either two or three that I have trouble picking between.
Okay.
I agree with Dave. Midlife Crisis is a great, great, great song, and sold me on the album Sight Unseen or Sight Unheard. I just like the abrasiveness of Jizzlobber, so I think I'm going to go Jizzlobber.
Okay.
It's very heavy, and it's such a juxtaposition between track 12 and 13 that I love the fact that it's placed there on the album.
Yeah.
You get this abrasive number, and then they go into Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah.
Just for that, too. It's another selling point to me. Also
Like
the title.
Like the album, we are all over the place. My top one is Smaller and Smaller.
Yep.
Another great tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, smaller and
call.
smaller and smaller. Any
Okay.
specific reason, or
I don't know. It just does
just
something
dig it?
for me. Yeah, I just dig it. It's a tough call, but yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that one. So, gun to the head the other way, Dave.
You know, I don't see the need so much for Midnight Cowboy just because it's such a straight cover, and I don't really see the purpose of that. But I appreciate how it just stands out in the album and how it says we're doing whatever we want. So I'll go with A Small Victory just because it's kind of polished.
Okay. Yeah, I can
A
see
little
that.
too commercial for my taste.
Okay.
I
Well,
agree with Awesome Dave.
really?
Small Victory.
Wow,
I think it's
okay.
also because it's another one of those singles on an album that I've heard so many times. And even to this day, if you're listening to some radio channel online, that one pops up first than any of the other tracks from this album.
Really?
So
Okay.
if I had to lose one, not saying that I don't like the song, I always got to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
this.
I still like it.
Yeah.
I still like the song a
Yeah.
lot, but I think that one, I would dump it.
Okay. I'm actually not a fan of RV.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If you
I don't
don't
know.
dig it, you
It's
don't
just-
dig it.
Yeah, yeah. I
It
mean,
is odd.
it's again, I just admire the weirdness of it and sticking that on here, but
Yeah.
I don't enjoy listening to it. Is what it
Okay.
comes down to.
If you don't
know?
like it-
yeah, that's just what it comes down to. Yeah.
You don't like it, you
Yeah.
don't like it. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I dig it because it's so odd and the whole.
It's funny.
It's fun. Yeah, it's almost
me
like
laugh, yeah.
like I said, it's like a Zappa stand-up routine. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my feet itch. It's one of my favorite lines. Pants fall down every time I bend over. It's
All
good
right.
stuff.
So there was a song that was on the re-release of this album, right?
Yeah, but at the
But
time,
yeah, what is the origin of it?
the cover of the Commodore song "Easy"
Yeah.
was supposed to be on Angel Dust.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make the record, but then they put out an EP. The record sold fairly well, Angel Dust. So they put out this hard to find little EP that I tracked down
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
years ago. So here's the Commodore's cover.
And again, it's nearly note for note.
You
It
wouldn't
is.
know it wasn't
It
the
is.
Commodores until
Yeah.
you hear Mike Patton.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really incredible.
The band did a really good job on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Patton's voice, though, too.
Yeah.
Still,
He's
really
smooth.
good. Really good.
And it goes, ew.
Yeah, instead of ooh, he goes ew. Another 90s video that suffers from 90s itis, where they're all hanging out in a hotel room with transvestites and the whole thing. So, and Mike Patton's like spitting off the balcony or whatever the hell he's doing. It's some weird shit. But the first time I heard it, I said, "Fuck, I gotta find that. Why isn't that on the album?" So I tracked this thing down.
Yeah.
And I mean, I used to play this on dates, for crying out loud, you know. So, yeah. So I dig it, you know. I
Yeah.
dig it. It's a
I
great
like the
cover.
original.
Yeah, the original's
So,
fantastic
yeah,
too.
yeah.
We love the Commodore.
Yeah.
You know, we love the
Yeah,
Commodore.
absolutely. And apparently, so do Faith
So
No
do
Yeah.
Faith No More.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great cover. One of their best. One of their best in my mind.
Okay, so track 2 is what is it? It's a polka.
Yeah, listen to that.
Oh, I like it. Speaking as a Weird Al fan, I like this.
Das Schützenfest.
Huh? Okay.
Das
Yeah,
Schützenfest, right? I'm
that's,
pronouncing that correct. It took me a minute to really.
Schützenfest.
Das Schützenfest, right?
Yeah. Oh, Schürzenfest.
Schützenfest.
Yeah.
Schürzenfest?
Schürzen.
You got me.
Yeah, I thought that was like yeah, okay.
But this
I don't
is-
actually know what that means. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're the guy that knows
it
a
up.
little German.
Yeah, like fest is like festival.
Yeah, I figured it was some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, but Schürzen, that's
I think this is an
verb I'm
original
familiar with.
on one of their, you know,
Yeah.
their idea of a polka, like Dave was saying.
It's like yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah.
It's got this like twisted like Kurt Weill like thing, you know, from Weimar era or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
The EP single thing is called "Songs to Make Love To," and then you play that. All right, all right. I don't know. I'd get down to it if she wanted to. I don't know. I don't care as long as we're doing it.
Okay, so the third track on the EP is Midnight Cowboy again.
Yeah.
But the fourth one is, what is it called?
Let's Lynch the Landlord. It's the
Yeah.
Dead Kennedys cover.
Yeah. But not quite done in the Dead Kennedy style, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to that.
Yeah. That's
Once
cool.
again, it's like polka swing.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jello approves. I'm sure Jello will bring out. It's
yeah.
like, go for it, man.
Yeah, he'd be all over this. Oh, so funny.
I know, right? So imagine my surprise. I was like, oh shit, okay, there's more songs on here. And especially when I saw Let's Lynch the Landlord, I expected it to be kind of like what Jislobber or Malpractice was on the
Yeah,
video. And
yeah.
then it comes on, I'm like,
No.
oh wow.
They're keeping you on your toes still.
Yeah. I was like, I was hunting in record store after record store after record store for this. But ultimately, I was very happy that I found it. It was one of those elusive EPs for a while.
Yeah.
Is it rare?
Yeah.
Limited issue?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, which is funny. Now I couldn't give it away because it's a CD.
Right.
So
All right, just wrap this up. I think we agree we really like this album, right?
Yes.
we like Angel Dust.
Yeah.
This fun little offshoot I like a lot too. It's a novelty thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But every so often I find myself putting it on just because it's fun.
Yeah.
And you guys were saying that there are reissues now that have
Easy.
on it.
Yeah.
None of the other tracks.
I think just easy, right?
Just Easy.
Yeah.
And then something else, which was
I know there's one track that we're not talking about that was
Yeah.
supposed to be on Angel Dust, like
yeah, and
Turn
yeah.
of the Worm.
That's the one.
Turn of the Worm.
Yeah, that is the one.
Yeah, love this album. Love Angel Dust. Think it's fantastic. To this day, it's in heavy rotation for me. Even if I give it a few months break, I still always go back to it. And you, Max?
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep, likewise.
a good one.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, so we've wrapped this one up. Next up, we're going to go on to the G's. And
We ain't got no more Fs.
we have no more F's. We're
we
going to do
wanna do.
Godsmack next, right?
Godsmack, yes.
Which
yes,
album
yes.
are we going to do? Well,
Faceless.
Faceless. Okay. So, Dave, what do you think? You feel like some Godsmack?
I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
So Dave's going to come back next time, and we're going to do some Godsmack. So I am Max,
I'm Walt.
I'm Dave.
and we are Useless Info Inc., doing our anti-seminal podcast on rock and roll and metal albums. And you can find us on WordPress and Google Play and iTunes and YouTube, and we're on the Twitters, and we're all over the place. You have no excuse for not getting in touch with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Check us out.
That's
Leave
right.
comments. Get in touch, please. Suggest stuff.
Yeah.
We'd love to do that. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Till next time.
Bye.
Rock and roll.